James Knox Polk. No president who performs his duties faithfully and conscientiously can have any leisure. Foreign powers do not seem to appreciate the true character of our government. There is more selfishness and less principle among members of Congress than I had any conception of before I became President of the U.S. I prefer to supervise the whole operations of government myself rather than entrust the public business to subordinates, and this makes my duties very great. I cannot, whilst President of the United States, descend to enter into a newspaper controversy. Well may the boldest fear and the wisest tremble when incurring responsibilities on which may depend our country's peace and prosperity, and in some degree the hopes and happiness of the whole human family. I am heartily rejoiced that my term is so near its close. I will soon cease to be a servant and will become a sovereign. Although in our country the chief magistrate must almost of necessity be chosen by a party and stand pledged to its principles and measures, yet in his official action he should not be the president of a party only, but of the whole people of the United States. The world has nothing to fear from military ambition in our government. While the chief magistrate and the popular branch of Congress are elected for short terms by the suffrages of those millions who must in their own persons bear all the burdens and miseries of war, our government cannot be otherwise than pacific. In executing this power by levying a tariff of duties for the support of government, the raising of revenue should be the object and protection the incident. To reverse this principle and make protection the object and revenue the incident would be to inflict manifest injustice upon all other than the protected interests. Zachary Taylor. I have always done my duty. I am ready to die. My only regret is for the friends I leave behind me. A strong reputation is like a good bonfire. When you have one kindled, it's easy to keep the flame burning, even if someone comes along and tries to piss on it. But if you fall asleep and neglect it, you'll wake up with ashes. Stop your nonsense and drink your whiskey. I am not a party candidate, and if elected cannot be president of a party, but the president of the whole people. In the discharge of duties my guide will be the Constitution, which I this day swear to preserve, protect, and defend. My life has been devoted to arms, yet I look upon war at all times, and under all circumstances, as a national calamity to be avoided if compatible with national honor. Let us invoke a continuance of the same protecting care which has led us from small beginnings to the eminence we this day occupy. I regret nothing, but I am sorry that I am about to leave my friends. The idea that I should become president seems to me too visionary to require a serious answer. It has never entered my head, nor is it likely to enter the head of any other person. I shall pursue a straightforward course, deviating neither to the right or left, so that comes what may I hope my real friends will never have to blush for me, so far as truth, honesty, and fair dealings are concerned. Millard Fillmore. The law is the only sure protection of the weak, and the only efficient restraint upon the strong. It is not strange to mistake change for progress. Let us remember that revolutions do not always establish freedom. The nourishment from barbecue is palatable. The man who can look upon a crisis without being willing to offer himself upon the altar of his country is not for public trust. God knows that I detest slavery, but it is an existing evil, for which we are not responsible, and we must endure it, till we can get rid of it without destroying the last hope of free government in the world. Church and state should be separate, not only in form, but fact. Religion and politics should not be mingled. Nations, like individuals in a state of nature, are equal and independent, possessing certain rights and owing certain duties to each other. The ability to produce every necessity of life renders us independent in war as well as in peace. Let us remember that revolutions do not always establish freedom. Our own free institutions were not the offspring of our revolution. They existed before. Franklin Pierce. While men inhabiting different parts of this vast continent cannot be expected to hold the same opinions, they can unite in a common objective and sustain common principles. There is nothing left to do but get drunk. You have summoned me in my weakness. You must sustain me in your strength. It must be felt that there is no national security but in the nation's humble, acknowledged dependence upon God and His overruling providence. I never justify, sustain, or in any way or to any extent uphold this cruel, heartless, aimless unnecessary war. Frequently the more trifling the subject, the more animated and protracted the discussion. I can express no better hope for my country than that the kind providence which smiled upon our fathers may enable their children to preserve the blessings they have inherited. I cannot find any authority in the Constitution for public charity. Of all knaves the religious knave is the worst. After the White House, what is there to do but drink? James Buchanan. Our Union rests upon public opinion, and can never be cemented by the blood of its citizens shed in civil war. The ballot box is the surest arbiter of disputes among free men. There is nothing stable but heaven and the Constitution. I am the last President of the United States. The storm of frenzy and faction must inevitably dash itself in vain against the unshaken rock of the Constitution. The government of the United States possesses no power whatever over the question of religion. Liberty must be allowed to work out its natural results, and these will, ere long, astonish the world. All the friends that I loved and wanted to reward are dead, and all the enemies that I hated and I had marked out for punishment are turned to my friends. If you are as happy in entering the White House as I shall feel on returning to Wheatland, you are a happy man indeed. If you are as happy, my dear sir, on entering this house as I am in leaving it and returning home, you are the happiest man in this country.